Hi, my name's 16. I've challenged myself to cook something different every day for 30 days. Today is day 13. It's nighttime, the day really got away from me, and I'm going to make the New York Times potato soup recipe. We'll see how it is. I already feel like I'm gonna add a lot more spices. In the interest of making this entire process smoother for both you and me, I've already chopped everything up, and here are all of the ingredients I already prepped. I should also mention up front that the New York Times recipe calls for bacon, but I'm going to skip that and make this vegetarian. So the first thing we're doing is melting 2 tablespoons of unsalted butter. Then I'm adding 1 large yellow onion, finely chopped, and giving it a little swirl through the butter before adding in my finely chopped carrots. The recipe called for just 1 large carrot, but that seemed kind of lame to me, so this is 3 medium carrots. And now I'm adding 3 celery stalks, also finely chopped. You're telling me I was going to put all this celery and only 1 carrot? That's not how I choose to live my life. And this is 4 minced cloves of garlic. The recipe called for just 2, but I'm aiming for bold flavors in this soup. I'm seasoning with a little salt, and I'm going to let this cook over medium heat until the vegetables have softened, which takes about 10 minutes. I'm also giving it a stir every couple minutes or so. Once that's done, it's time to add the star of the show, the potatoes. This is 3 pounds of peeled and diced potatoes, and prepping these is honestly the most time-consuming part of this whole recipe. After giving everything a stir, I'm seasoning generously with pepper and then more salt as well. I'm giving this another quick stir before adding some chopped fresh thyme that I nabbed from my garden. The recipe calls for 1/2 teaspoon, which sort of feels like, why even bother? This is probably closer to a tablespoon. Next, I'm adding chili powder. Again, the recipe calls for just 1/4 teaspoon and also says it's optional, which honestly does not compute in my brain. Not sure how 1/4 teaspoon is supposed to even be detectable in a batch of soup this big. This is more like 1 to 2 tablespoons, and now I'm adding paprika. Same story. Recipe calls for 1/2 teaspoon. This is much more than that. I'm going to let all of these ingredients cook together in the seasoning for just a couple minutes, stirring to make sure nothing gets stuck to the bottom of the pot. And now it's time to add broth. This is 4 cups of vegan chicken broth, and I use the Better Than Bouillon brand. Now we're going to crank up the heat and let this get up to a boil. Once it's boiling, cover with a lid and reduce the heat to medium-low. Letting it simmer for 15 to 20 minutes, stirring occasionally. This is also a good time to taste the broth and see if it needs more salt or seasoning. Don't burn your mouth though. Once the potatoes are tender enough to stab a fork through easily, add heavy cream. The recipe encourages you to choose your own adventure here, adding 1/2 to 1 cup of heavy cream. I added roughly 1/2 cup. Now we're going to cut the heat and transfer half the soup into a blender. I probably could have transferred over a little less than I did. I don't mind a hearty, chunky soup, but what's done is done. And once the soup is in the blender, you're going to blend until smooth. This makes the soup super creamy. It's a really awesome texture. Pour it back into the pot and cook for a little bit longer on medium-low. Uncovered and giving it a stir every so often. The recipe says to do this for 15 minutes, but I found it didn't need quite that long. I think 5 to 10 minutes is definitely enough time. And that's it. I'm topping with habanero cheddar cheese for a little extra heat and richness. Okay, everybody. It's 11 p.m. You can still eat soup at this hour, I think. It's not illegal. Ooh, the bowl is hot. I didn't think this shot through. It's very delicious. It's very delicious. I'm glad I added the spices that I did. I'm excited about this. I'm gonna go sit on the couch and eat it.